Okay, let's try this again. Take two. Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from warm, sunny Colorado. Can you guys hear me all right? Sound check. I need you guys in live chat to let me know if we're getting good sound. Be unfortunate to do live stream and okay, good. So I am actually getting a whole new sound setup, and it'll be significantly more advanced than just these plug-in podcasting microphones. But it'll take me a little bit of time to get all that set up and going. I'm not a professional podcaster. I do my best. I guess you have to become an audio engineer at some point in your life when you do this for a living. But we'll get there. All right. So where are we at? Today was a long day. Yesterday was a long day too. It's been a long month. Concisely, we initiated the endorsement. So basically, it's a 3-step process to upgrade Cardano. One step is to put the rocket on the pad. So that's where we actually take an update proposal and we submit it. Second, the update proposal has to be approved within the epoch, and then if it's approved, then it hard forks. So that was our point of no return. Once the proposal's been endorsed, there's no way to reverse it, and that's what we did today. So that's why I tweeted the rocket taking off, because it's kind of like putting a rocket on the pad and feeling it. Then when it launches, it goes into space, and you're traveling through the air to get to space. And then when you get to space, mission accomplished. Congratulations. So in this analogy right now, the rocket taking off is the endorsement phase, and getting into space is the hard fork, which is going to occur Wednesday, the 29th. For those of you in Japan, Korea, and other jurisdictions like that, that'll probably be in the morning time on the 30th. So basically, Shelly's here without compromises. Every component, every piece of Shelly. There's a lot to clean up and do, some bugs probably to squash along the way, so a lot of technical debt to reduce. And August is going to be a catch-up month. So anything we missed, anything that needs cleaning will get cleaned, and people who've been working overtime will get well-deserved vacations. And basically, we're going to spend that month digesting the Shelly release for the Cardano Core team. Now, there's a parallel team that has yet to release their product, and they're getting themselves built up towards a product release, and that's the Voltaire team. And that team is going to start the process of getting people registered for voting, testing the voting framework, getting Fund 2 ready to go. And August is going to be the month for that, where that happens. And then September, October is when that first round of funding is coming out from the DC fund. So those of you in the community who have great ideas, this is your chance, your opportunity to participate. Funding should be somewhere in the $250,000 range for that DC fund version 1. Get all the bugs and kinks out, and then every 6 to 8 weeks of funds should open up, and the process will continue to evolve. More voting methods will be used, more incentives to participate will be used, better platforms will be integrated. So it's a very organic, iterative phenomena. So the Voltaire team is speeding up, and they're not going to take a vacation or a break, because they got to release their thing, and they're working real hard to do that. And you'll see a lot more information about that on the 30th when we do the product update that we do every month. Dor is going to come on and talk a bit about what the first round of the funding is going to look like, what the DC fund is all about, and how we're going to kind of use this as a iterative process to evolve to the point to turn on all the Voltaire features and to get the right experience and high participation. Lots to do there. Core team, well-deserved time down alongside a lot of people who are going to be cleaning stuff up, improving documentation, dealing with third-party integrations. Huge amount to do on Daedalus in particular, hardware wallet center, firmware updates on Ledger and Trezor. A lot of work to do on the wallet backend as well, and a lot of exchange integration work to do as well. And so they're going to spend a lot of August there. And then there's probably about 4 to 6 man weeks worth of technical debt, if not more, on the Ledger side. That's the Ledger rules, not Ledger the device, and that has to be reduced. So that core Ledger team is going to work at it. And the network team is scaling up to start rolling out peer-to-peer. So that's the next phase. So after that decentralization parameter starts counting down, the network team is going to run a series of profiling experiments and turn on the peer-to-peer governor, which is already built into Shelley. And that'll allow us to properly parameterize the system to get to a fully peer-to-peer state. It takes a little bit of time to do that, but the protocol was designed specifically for this. So that's what that team is going to be doing. Consensus team will, of course, be closely monitoring Cardano, and they'll take some good time to make sure that we did everything right. We think we did. Simulations say we did. Stateful operators say we did. Experiments said we did. But obviously, as a live system, that's always a slightly different test scenario. So we'll be monitoring the network very closely in August to make sure that everything is behaving exactly the way that we intended it to behave, and that simulations indicated that it's going to behave. Okay, so me personally, I'll probably take a little bit of time off in August, and I'll also spend quite a bit of time aligning for the Gogen strategy. So we will have another Cardano Summit, this time Gogen edition. A lot of partners to bring on board. We have to refine the asset strategy and make sure that the CF is staffed up, and we're staffed up for that. The C fund is already vetting a lot of investments that are coming its way. So I'm heavily involved there with other people, Dave and Les, and the finance team on our side. And we're looking at a lot of things about how do we get high-level developer acquisition, meaning lots and lots of developers. Now, you may have seen a tweet today where I said, I predict that we'll have hundreds of native assets and thousands of dApps and lots of developers in our ecosystem next year. And I believe we can get there. It's going to be a stretch goal. A lot has to be done. We have to push hard, but we're ready to fight. And this year is all about getting ourselves aligned, and next year is about the Clash of the Titans. We have a great community. We have a lot of developers that are already very interested in the platform, a lot of deal flow coming our way, and we're going to give it fire on all cylinders every single day. From my side, it's not good enough just to write some software. I really want to see this platform be used. My company's all about use and utility, so we're going to go right into the trenches and build dApps right into the trenches, and our entire B2B service arm is going to push application and deal flow towards Cardano. So as many deals we can bring in, as much as we can bring to the platform, we're going to go and do it because we built Cardano to do these things. And it's the best platform in the world to do a lot of the things that we want to do, especially when we start turning on stuff like Prism and so forth and tightly integrating that, have our native asset standard and a lot of cool things with Plutos. Now, Gogen requires a lot of work to pull in, and that team is already doing it. And what's going to happen is after the August technical debt reduction and backlog is taken care of, and we have successfully digested Shelley, that entire team is going to roll over and merge with the Plutus team that's already working and start pulling in extended UTXO, multi-sig, and a litany of other capabilities. And the first output of that is going to be the token locking and native asset stuff. Tentatively, that looks like it's in the October, September timeframe. It's hard to say exactly when that's going to hit. It's based on development velocity. I'm going to have to see a few sprints post-August to get a good idea of what that looks like. We're still hiring into it because I'd like to scale up resources to de-risk delivery dates. So we'll keep doing that. We're also moving some people over to the Hydra team and scaling that team up. So with any luck, we should have some stuff to say by the Gogen Summit. So things are moving well in that direction. Tons and tons and tons of work is going to be done to integrate native assets. And there's still a lot of active discussions about the tail end of token policy, spending policy, vanity addresses, these types of things, and how much we can get into that standard and what we can do with that standard. We have a pretty good idea. We've written some papers about it. We've built some experiments with it, and we actually have our own DeFi teams playing around with these things to verify and validate that the assumptions we've made are true. So we'll have a lot more to say in end of August, September timeframe about these things and where they're going to land. But that's the first generation of Gogen is going to be that. And Daedalus, of course, will reflect that infrastructure, and we'll upgrade Daedalus into a multi-asset wallet. So that'll happen quite organically. A lot of stuff is going to happen under the hood with Daedalus, new account creation, a lot of security enhancements. We're going to try to make sure there's more hardware integration. Like I'd really want to see U2FA and a login screen and a litany of other things that were always on the backlog, but we can never get around to it. And if we have to scale up resources to Daedalus to accommodate that, we will do so. But we are going to accelerate things there because it's now finally a platform that's worth building on and iterating on and evolving. Everything is really on granite, so we're very happy about that. And there should be limited friction in these things as opposed to where it was before. So Daedalus is really going to evolve quickly. We'll probably do a code rewrite on Daedalus to write it in TypeScript and do a lot of other cool architectural changes to make it faster, more reliable, and easier to maintain. But overall, it's one of our better pieces of software in our portfolio. And we've been following behavior-driven development with it for quite some time. If you go to our repos, you can actually see the test cases that we use there. And they're quite exhaustive, but there's much more to do. So the next few months, that's what's going to be occurring, is there's going to be a lot of backlog with Daedalus to really bring it into the next generation and make it very special. And then multi-asset, and then a lot of Plutus-specific features will be coming into Daedalus to make it a great platform for that. Now, Plutos Core, so we call it Plutos Foundations, that's underway as well. And the language is stable. So I'd encourage anyone who's interested in where that's at to watch the functional smart contracts and Plutus presentations we did at the Cardano Summit Shelley edition. They're already up on the IOHK YouTube page. And they're about an hour long each, and they should give you guys a really comprehensive understanding of what that platform is all about. It is a personal goal of mine that as soon as we can to get a centralized server running that people can write and test Plutus code against, similar to like a cloud IDE or a cloud backend, so that we can start getting developers to build things there. We've already done this to a certain extent with Plutus Playground, and people have written things against it, but we need to make sure that that development experience converges to as close to what the main net is going to look like as possible, so we have a reliable testing experience for that. So we're going to make sure that that happens, and we'll make sure that that's as publicly available as possible. But more to say on that later. But generally speaking, a huge amount of my time is going to be taken by Gogen now. So rest and recover in August, but also during August, a huge scale up on Gogen related things. You, the community, are going to focus on Voltaire and Shelley. There's a lot to do on Shelley. There's going to be massive amounts of conversations about stake pool this and stake pool that, and need to configure this and configure that, and lots of bug reports and other things that are coming. So I guarantee you that August is going to be a busy, busy, busy month for the Cardano community on the funding side and also on just the performance side. So it gives the core team a lot to do there as well. So next few months are going to be crazy, crazy involved. Lots of stuff happening, lots of code being written, lots of integration occurring, and a lot of partners that have to be dragged along the way. Some easily, some kicking and screaming. Nonetheless, it will get done. So we can get to 2021, which is going to be the fun year because that's where we have an incredible, beautiful, stable platform to go and deploy lots of useful, high utility things on. So that's a bit about August and where we're going. It's bittersweet to a certain respect. You know, we spent 5 years figuring out how to build all this and deploy Shelley. And now that Shelley's out, it almost feels like it's yesterday and nobody cares. And now let's move on to the next thing, Gogen, right? Can't even enjoy the moment for a few days, unfortunately. But, you know, that's just the way it is. We're in a highly competitive market. There's a lot of options that people have. And if we're going to win, we can never slow down. We have to always keep our eye on the prize, and we have to push really hard. And I want to win. You know, this is a platform with principles, and this is a platform we built to have 1 billion users at some point in the future. So to get there, we have to wake up each and every day and understand the magnitude of that, and we have to push ourselves every single day. And we can never get complacent, and we can never accept that just because we've had a big success that defines us. You wake up tomorrow, and it's just like any sport. Just because you won the Super Bowl last year doesn't mean anything for this season. You can be the worst team in the NFL. Similarly, just because we've shipped Shelley doesn't in any way say that everything's done. There's huge amount to do moving forward. And we'll do our part. We know the community is ready to do their part. We know the partners are ready to do their part. We're really excited to see how the CF has been scaling up and really pushing themselves. And also, it's really exciting to see that now we have two funds that are going to bring a lot of actors into the ecosystem. And we are utilizing partners as best we can. Like the Rosetta integration, for example, was done by ATEX, and that was just great work. And they completed it in under 4 weeks, I believe. We have our new Explorer coming live, I believe, in August. And that's a phenomenal piece of software as well that we built with a partner. And that's going to add a lot of cool stuff to the ecosystem. And that's going to be a rapidly evolving piece of infrastructure. And we're going to continue bringing more development partners into the project to make sure that we can operate parallel. For example, Vacuum Labs is doing all the hardware wallet integration. We'll probably talk to them about other things that they can do. And we'll try to make sure that we get full support end to end, like Ledger Live and so forth. A lot to do there. Let's see if I've missed anything. No, yeah, just working hard. So that's your Sunday night, 11:22 p.m. update about where we're at, what's going on, and how we're pushing forward. Me, I'm getting ready for war, so going on a fast tomorrow. I have aspirations of that that extended fast lasting longer than a week. So getting mentally prepared for that. No food for a week is an interesting experience. And certainly a lot of things that I'm doing to make sure that I have the time and focus necessary to really push for this next 5 months. It's going to probably be the busiest 5 months of my life because there's so many things to balance and tackle, and so many partnerships to manage and maintain, and so many things that have to roll out, and the complexity keeps going up and up and up. The good news is we have a lot of wonderful people, from Jared Maroney to Tam Hassan and many, many others, Tom Flynn and others, that are just doing phenomenal work every day, and they're ready for this too. So y'all wanted a fight. Here it comes. Welcome to the dawn of Shelley, and let's grab shovels and go change the world, huh? Thanks for listening, and I'll try to keep you guys in the loop. Another thing is I'm going to change my setup for how I do these things. I'm probably going to professionalize it a little bit, so I'll get better audio and better visual. Second, probably bring in more curation, and I might start doing some scheduled AMAs as opposed to just random ones, and let people know ahead of time and get more community questions. And I might even have some guests on these AMAs as well. So wait for that, and you'll see that coming. I have to look at some software from StreamYard to a lot of others that allow you to do simulcasting, and maybe I'll push into Twitch and Periscope and all these other things at the same time. We're also going to be working with a lot of partners, like we're going to propose something to Bitcoin Cash and propose something to Litecoin, as you guys are aware. Those are just the tip of the iceberg. There's many other cryptocurrency projects, which are both app coins and utility tokens from layer 1 to layer 2, that would make a lot of sense to start building relationships with. So the commercial team is going to get their ass kicked. They're going to have a very, very busy August. They don't get to go on vacation. They're going to be doing calls 12 hours a day, hustling, because it's very important that we start bringing those partners in and showing them the USPs of the platform that we've constructed. So that will be coming as well. All right. That's all for midnight. Y'all take care now. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Cheers.